a while. I don't know how to do this. Recording? Yeah. Okay. Whew. My loves. I was gone for 2 years. I think. 2.5, maybe 3. August 11th, 2017 was my last video. So yeah, 2.5 years, about 2 years some change. Whew, that was a long time ago, and I'm gonna tell you guys why I left and why I suck at YouTube. I mean, you're gonna hear some drilling because my husband just got some stuff on his car and he's like going to town on it. And also, you may hear my camera like auto-focusing because I still don't have a microphone, which would mean that you wouldn't be able to hear my husband banging on some crap, but it's probably the only time I can do this week. So, yeah. Where do I begin? First off, let's begin on, I guess, my medical issues. I had a lot of them, and that was partly the reason why I sucked at YouTube, was because I had a lot of medical crap going on, and it was really hard, and yeah. So, it's gonna be a little story, and we're gonna go back and forth, and it all comes together, though, I promise. It all comes together. So, my husband and I always wanted a family. We wanted a really big family and things like that. It just wasn't happening. I went to the doctors. I was diagnosed with unexplained infertility, which, you know, if you guys want a separate video on infertility and stuff like that, I have a lot of information. I wish people told me before I started my stuff that if I could help someone else, that'd be perfect, because, you know what, there's a lot of information and a lot of stuff that you should consider before starting it. So, yeah, I was diagnosed with unexplained infertility. We were in Virginia at the time, and we started procedures, like, not invasive procedures. We did, like, a start, which was called an IUI, intrauteral insemination. I did 5 rounds of that. My 5th round, I got really sick. Something went wrong, and I almost died. Not trying to be, exaggerating, but I did almost die. And that started this slew of medical mysteries and problems that now affect my life today. So, that's always fun. Let's see. After my first incident, it was 2016, yeah. It was May of 2016 was my first infection, and I got really sick, and I almost died, and they gave me antibiotics, and they said I was fine. It was time to go home, yada, yada, yada. A month later, I got another infection, I got sepsis again, and I almost died again. And, yeah, it was crazy. I was hospitalized again. They couldn't figure out why. They gave me antibiotics and went away. They sent me on my way. The 3rd month was July of 2016, and I, again, had another infection. I had stuff going on, and the doctors couldn't figure out why. They wanted to do an exploratory surgery. My other doctor said, no, it's fine. My husband yelled, and then we had a surgery date for August of 2016. They were going to do an exploratory surgery. They were supposed to just look inside. They said they were going to clean out my fallopian tubes because they thought they saw a blockage. When I woke up from that surgery, they had removed both fallopian tubes, and that was pretty crazy and insane, and a lot of issues came from that. I was not prepared. I was not, like, my brain couldn't process it at the time, so, you know, it was just really weird. After that surgery, I had fallen down the stairs because I was so doped up on anesthesia. They, like, literally pushed me out of the hospital. No lie, I mean, they pushed me out. They're like, no, she's good to go. She can talk, she can walk. She went to the bathroom. Like, she's fine. I woke up, and I was trying to go upstairs. I fell downstairs, and then my back started hurting. At this time, we were getting ready to leave Virginia and go to North Carolina. And Virginia's doctors were literally like, you're Bragg's problem now, so have a good time. And they gave me a handful of painkillers, and they're like, you'll be on your way. this started my things with painkillers, and it's not, I would never say I was addicted, but I definitely needed them, like, more than I probably should have, you know? It was a crazy, crazy thing to have, and yeah. So, we came to North Carolina. I did some videos. I mean, I was unemployed. I tried to do some videos, and I mean, it was going pretty well. Like, things happen. And then when we got here to North Carolina, I kept having some back issues. The doctor said it was fine. It was probably because of all my fertility issues and all the stuff, my endometriosis and all the other stuff that was going on. My husband and I, we opted to do an IVF, which was an experience, to say the least. It was never about, like, I guess giving myself shots and stuff like that. It was a crazy, crazy, crazy after effect of all the hormones you put in yourself, because you get bloated, you get cranky, you're irritable, you don't want to do crap. There were days that I was, like, so moody. I'd go from being really happy to really sad to being really angry, and bless my husband's heart, because he dealt with it all, and I was in so much pain, and you can't take anything when you're trying to do this because it defeats the whole purpose. So, you know, I was living with a lot of endometriosis pain and a lot of the fertility pain, which, like, the fertility drugs, those pains were awful. And then we did our IVF the summer of 2017, and we did the IVF. It did not work. We had 5 embryos that we made, which, yay us. We implanted 2 of them. They did not work, so we have 3 embryos frozen, but those are sitting in a freezer, you know, at a medical lab somewhere, because we don't know what to do with them yet. After my IVF failed, I was super, and I mean super depressed. No one wants to be on camera. No one wants to film. No one wants to do anything. And, you know, I also didn't have a job at this time, and, you know, makeup costs money, all this stuff. I didn't have a job, and I was just really sad at this point. Like, my mindset was in a terrible spot. This is probably the worst that mentally I had ever been in my life. At this point, I thought, like, no way can this get worse from this right here. Boy, was I about to be wrong. I laugh because I feel like you have to find some humor in this, which is not a funny thing, but you have to find a silver lining somewhere. So, yeah. After that, my back was still killing me, and it was more pain, like, it was getting more and more painful. I couldn't specifically pinpoint where my back pain was, but, you know, it happened after that fall, and I was telling my doctors about it, and they said, no, I'm fine. And then my periods got really bad, and it was so painful, and they put me through induced menopause. So, like, I was 27 going through menopause, which is a crazy thing to do at 27. Like, I know, like, people have way worse medical issues, and I'm not trying to downplay them or, like, make mine seem worse, but it was just something that was so insane for me to go through, like hot flashes and all the stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. Mood swings, they're all real. Never thought they were, they're all real. And, yeah. Then, I ended up having really sharp shooting pains in my sides, and I could not, there were days I couldn't even get up, go to work, or do anything because the pain was so bad, and I ended up having an infection in my ovaries, and December of 2017, I had my ovaries taken out, which was crazy. And then after that, I could pinpoint the exact spot where my back was hurting, which was crazy. Crazy that happened, but, you know, I could do it. I went to the doctors. They finally did an MRI, which, by all means, why didn't you do one sooner? But, hey, I'm not a doctor. And they found out that I had fractured my back, and I had 2 bulging discs in my L4 and L5. And, yes, which required another surgery. At this point, I've had 8 surgeries in 2 years. That is what I know. I can't tell you. I think I was like on my 4th one at this point. Something like that. It was a crazy experience. Like 8 surgeries / procedures altogether in 2 years. So then what happened? May of 2018, I had my back surgery, and something went wrong, and I lost all feeling in my right leg for 3 days. Could not feel my right leg, couldn't move it, couldn't lift it, couldn't do anything for 3 days. And then I got a period, which was super weird. I did not have ovaries or tubes, and I was so confused. I'm like, am I supposed to have a period? What's going on, you know? You're not supposed to have one. Well, then I got an ultrasound done, and guess what you could see in my ultrasound? A freaking ovary. And then I looked at my doctor. I was like, I thought we took those out. And he was like, oh, we did. They took a biopsy, and damn well, it was an ovary. I had what was called ovarian remnant syndrome, and I had grown an ovary and a fallopian tube back. Crazy. And then, the pain was getting worse. My endometriosis was spreading. It was not a fun process, so my doctors opted to do a hysterectomy and take my uterus out, which, by far, one of the worst surgeries I had ever had done. It was painful, and it was a surgery that rocked my world, I'm not gonna lie. And after this, I went back to that really dark spot of, man, things sucked. Which, again, I know we each have different things that suck in life, and I'm not trying to downplay anyone else or hyping mine up, but at this point in time, I think, probably more depressed. Sorry. We don't cry. We're over crying. It happened a while ago. Happened like a year ago. We're good. We move on. Don't ruin your makeup! Why are you crying? You're over this, man. We've discussed this. And leave. Sorry. Sometimes it like creeps its way up and you get a little emotional and yeah. Anyways, like I had to wrap my head around that I was never going to get pregnant, you know? Like, whatever. I don't want to talk about it. It makes me sad still. Which is stupid that it still makes me sad, but we try to move on. Sorry. Anyways, which then brings me to my next part of my story, which I'm sorry this is going to be a long video, but I promise you it all makes sense. During this very sad, depressing time of the 2 years that I was off YouTube, I would watch makeup still. It still inspired me. It literally gave me, like, reality. YouTube, makeup was a world that made me forget what was going on. Why are you trying to cry? This is stupid. Okay, anyways, yeah. So YouTube gave me a break from reality. And makeup was still a huge passion of mine. I mean, I still was buying stuff. I was still doing all this other stuff. I was just never filming because at this time, like, I couldn't bring myself to be on camera and fake a smile and things like that, you know? Like, I couldn't teach, I couldn't do anything. But then all my friends were still like, Stephanie, you should do it because you're still really good. And then, during those 2 years, makeup has changed so much. There's just so much out there now. There's so many creative people. And then I would go on Instagram and YouTube and, like, McDrew or Voodoo Barbie Doll and then, like, Brookel, Makeup by Brookel. There are so many talented people, and I'm like, I am not that talented. I cannot do that. No one's going to want to watch me do this. Because I'm not as good as them. I can't make myself into something. I can't paint half my face and, you know, things like that. But then I realized I'm a person and not majority, but a lot of people can't do that either. And I, like, played with the idea of trying to get back into YouTube. I still suck, don't get me wrong, which is why we're making this video still 6 months later. And then we were moving down to Florida, and we now live in Florida because, you know, my husband's in the military. We move constantly. And I now don't have a job, and I think this is the perfect time to get started, and I want to say thank you to my husband first and foremost, giving me the time and opportunity to do this, you know, and I mean, I need a job, I want a job, and so I can buy more makeup because I have a problem, let's be serious, but he also pushes me and says if it makes you happy, then you should do it, because you know what, you should do what makes you happy. Also, a big shout out to my cousin Caitlin. She has been pushing me constantly, and she is a good motivator, and she helps me more than anyone I can ever say with this makeup stuff and figuring out Instagram and stuff like that. McDrew has helped me on Instagram, like, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And then my friend Alex and all them. I would always tell Alex, I'm just not talented enough, and she said, but you are you and you're your own person, and you can teach someone so well, which, that's what I think I want to do. Like, I love looking at all these fancy looks, like painting half your face and, you know, turning yourself into something else, and, you know, like Abby Roberts, she's amazing, and I don't think I'll ever personally be able to do that kind of artistry, but, you know, props to her, and, but they're not realistic to wear out every day, and I think I want to teach people who are moms and who are workers that they can grab makeup and be 15 minutes out the door, or if you're a beginner, like, makeup is intimidating, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, it is. Some people find it super, like, crazy, and I think I want to teach you that it's not intimidating, it's just something, and it's just makeup. It comes off at the end of the day. I did a look before this, I hated it, I took it off, and I did something else. If you don't like it, or if it looks bad, you can always take it off and try again. And I think it's a good lesson, and honestly, makeup's a good distraction from what's going on. Like, at the end of the day, like, whenever I need to feel pretty, or I was super depressed about something, like, those thoughts creep up into your head of never being a mom or things like that, I put on makeup, and it's a good distraction. So anyways, this was a long story. I don't know if it totally made sense to you guys. It was where I had been for 2 years. I mean, I had a lot of medical stuff. I still have a lot of medical stuff. I still need another back surgery. And a lot of these times when you're in pain, constant pain, you just don't feel like doing anything. And I'm the first to tell you that I lay in bed and I do nothing. I'll sit there and I'll do nothing because I can't. And yeah, depression sucked. I'm doing 100% better now. Like, I cry, obviously, you guys just saw that. I cry every now and then, but it's a good thing to, like, let it out. And yeah, I mean, I'm everywhere now. I don't even know if this ever makes sense, but I mean, I would like to know what you guys want to learn. If you guys want to learn a 15-minute makeup thing, if you want to learn how to do, like, a full-on glam, if you want to do a natural look, like, leave comments below. My only thing is be nice. No one has time to be rude or hateful. Like, I mean, you have the time, but I personally don't like it. I don't want to see it. It's just, it's not nice. And so just be nice to one another. That's all I ask. If you have criticism, constructive criticism is always welcomed. Trust me. I encourage it. I suck at editing or, like, making flashy thumbnails or things like that. So, you know, I'm still learning as we go along. So this is a learning process for me too. And yeah, so that's why I suck at YouTube, because I suck at editing. I was lazy. I was in a lot of pain, and I just couldn't make time for it. So I've rambled enough for today. I just want to thank you guys if you guys watched this video all the way through, and if you guys ever still support me, that'd be awesome. And yeah, I'm going to say goodbye now. My new signing off would be the way I say bye to my mom, because I think it's super cute. My mom is Korean, I'm half Korean, and she watches a lot of BTS, and, you know, Asians do this. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.